The Tempest was likely William Shakespeare's final play. It revolves around a magician who orchestrates a shipwreck in much the same way a playwright lays out a plot on stage. But when the Bard's plays were performed some 400 years ago, there were no actresses on stage, says Kate Burton.
Originally, all the women were played by young men. He was writing female roles, some of the greatest female roles that have ever been conceived. I've played many of them for young men. And so here it is that women are playing his great male roles. Why not?
Why not is exactly what director Joe Dowling was thinking. He decided to change the male lead of Prospero into the female Prospera and cast Burton in the role.
The issues that are big in the play, those of protecting her young, the idea of the eventual reconciliation and forgiveness, they're not solely male attributes.
You know, we discussed playing Prospero as a man, which has been done by many actresses. And then as I was reading it, I thought, no, let's just make her a woman. That was Joe Dowling, our wonderful director, his initial instinct. And that's what's so terribly exciting for women right now, is that, you know, you can play this part as a man, you can play this part as a woman. It is equally and differently wonderful.
It also means that people who think they know the play may be prompted to look at it with fresh eyes.
The operative word, fresh eyes. You know, any Shakespeare play, and this is the beauty of him as a writer as well, is that you can put many different turns and takes on it.
Absolutely. The words of Prospero coming out of the mouth of Prospera take on a decidedly different twist, and it's great.
Actor Robert Foxworth.
The enlightenment that women playing traditional male roles bring to the language and the understanding of the play, I think will be very, very awakening to people.
That's the thing about Shakespeare's writing. It works for every generation.
I think that's true. And so I think the plays really do demand, every time one does them, to look at them through the prism of where we are now. Thank goodness, finally, there is an acceptance that women in Shakespeare can play whatever role that they're suited to, as opposed to whatever role their gender determines. Then that does give an audience a new look at the play.
The thing is about this writing that is so extraordinary is that, as I say, it hits you at different points in your life, and there's always those moments in rehearsal where you just have to stop and take a breath and go, what is the genius of this man?
Wow.
400 years later, we're still doing these plays.
The Tempest is also a play that's very much about theater and performance.
That's the reason why we've taken the look we have at it, which is that in some way on this desert island there is an abandoned theatre, and that's where Prospera has made her home, and that's where the play takes place.
So it's the wooden O, the rounded O, and you know, he even makes a reference to it in one of my speeches in the second act, the great globe itself. And so you know there's double entendres of everything that he talks about, particularly with Prospero in the second act, he's saying goodbye. So the fact that we are in this extraordinary theater within a theater is just what it does, it helps us, the actors, tell you the story.
And though it wasn't sort of designed as a Shakespearean Elizabethan stage, it has all the elements, the doors below, the balconies above. So it has all those elements that allow us to really explore the play. But it also, coming from the notion that this is a play about performance, then it heightens those performances.
David Reynoso's costumes also heighten that sense of performance.
He has interpreted the play in exactly the terms that I've been talking about. I mean, very theatrical, somewhat glitzy, a feeling that it is about performance, and yet he's managed to keep the sort of contemporary look.
And a contemporary spin to the play's idea about the rarer action is in virtue than in vengeance.
So whether it's on a personal level or on a level of international politics, I think it's terribly important to understand that message and to recognize that even though Prospera has been badly treated, appallingly treated, she's capable at the end of saying to her brother, whom she loathes for what he did, she's saying, I forgive you. And that's a huge message that I think we can all learn from good old Willie.
Indeed. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.